Chancellor Brewington, powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
That's right. We are live from 1040 O Street, and it is What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington. I'm Jake Bachman, sitting alongside your host, Chancellor Brewington. So the question must be asked: what is brewing today, Chancellor?
What's brewing? What is brewing? That is a good question, man. A lot is brewing. A lot's brewing in Nebraska, and I hope a lot's brewing in everyone's lives out there. That's the most important thing, that you figure out where you're going in life and not be aimless. And we have a direct aim on where we're going, and get up in the morning and try to complete that vision for our life day to day. So we always start off with some type of quote, some type of inspiration. We've been on Ralph Waldo Emerson, one of my favorites. He says, "What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us." That's powerful. That's powerful. So it's nothing external. It's not the past or the future, really. It's all what's in us. It's all what's in us. And I think sometimes we can get in this mode and in this space of always looking for maybe confirmation externally, and maybe looking for the answers externally, maybe looking for acceptance, maybe looking for gratification, and obviously we're in an instant gratification age, but just looking externally, and then you ask the question, well, why? And I think the answer to that is probably ignorance, and not in a sense of like we're dumb. I think it's ignorance in a sense of we just don't know all that we're capable of. And once we get attached to what we're capable of, oh my goodness. I mean, I think that's when the miracles happen. That's when the overnight successes happen. That's when all these beautiful things happen. But Ralph Waldo Emerson, I mean, philosopher from the, I think, late 1800s, I believe. Self-reliance, those essays are fantastic. Big proponent for reading. I love reading. I love the knowledge, but within the reading, even applying that quote to the reading, you read not to get someone to reveal something to you. I think you read to get what's inside of you already revealed, what's already inside of you revealed to you. I think it's a realization thing. I think it's awareness thing of what's already inside of us. Like we're standing on our own acre of diamonds every day. And I think the realization of that can bring a calmness to us, and I think a different zeal to life, and I think a different joy to life too, instead of this anxious thought of what's going on, what's going to happen in the future, and this depression, this feeling or mode of depression of like what happened in the past, and maybe this unforgiveness to self, and this kind of ridicule of like the decisions you made, but like none of that really matters. You got to focus on where you are right now, and where you are, man, is on your acres of diamonds. Like you're standing in it right now. And that's the encouragement today. And within the acre of diamonds, we got some great news within the Nebraska football program. And just, as a former teammate and a friend, I would say as well. But Javin Wright, man, coming back to Nebraska, or I should say officially, it is the news is he's cleared for the 7th year. That's the correct way to say it. He is cleared for the 7th year. And this means a lot. I mean, there was obviously, if you go through his whole journey, I mean, you want to talk about self-reliance and believing in yourself. That's probably the cream of the crop right there. He dealt with knee injury, shoulder injury, another shoulder injury, and 2 different sets of some serious health conditions that most people would probably stop playing football and stop the dream, quote unquote. But he's doing it, man. He's doing it. And this 2 years ago, he had a really, really good year. Was tied with the team in tackles, tied in takeaways, on a really good defense, a top 15 defense, in the nation. And this past year, didn't get to play the first half of the season. And obviously, just dealing with the momentum in itself, that's really hard, and he didn't get to practice this year. And, there's a whole bunch of stuff there. And, obviously the emergence of John Bullock and Vincent Shaver. So, kind of in a limited role, playing some third down stuff here. But I think the talent of him match that with the Oklahoma transfer, match that with the Georgia Southern transfer, adding Vincent Shavers to that mix too. You're able to do a lot of different stuff. And I think, adding him in there, I mean, he's a 6'5", around, I would say 230. His weight probably will go up. Maybe he'll get to 235 in the, off season, get a full healthy off season. And that, that's invaluable. You can't really put a price on that. That's like, I would say that, the healthy off season is the reason, or one of the reasons why Ty Robinson had the year he did. You look at Ty's career, a lot of times he's, you're getting surgery in the offseason. You're dealing with this, and this. And, for him to be healthy in the offseason and get under a good strength staff, meaning, Coach Campbell and stuff like that, he was able to do what he did. So big shout out there. And we'll talk about it a little bit more. But the fresh news of Javin Wright, what'd you think about it, Bach? And I know y'all probably been talking about it, but what do you think this means for this defense?
Well, I think it's really big. Obviously, like you said, 8 tackles in the bowl game. He started the bowl game. Obviously, this was a tough season. And I think a lot of people felt like coming into the season, he might be the breakout performer on Nebraska's defense, just because he kind of had a knack for getting to the ball, whether it be forced fumbles, interceptions, whatever it may be the year prior. So it's nice because it's a nice blend of a player that and can rely on, and a guy that still brings upside despite being in his 7th season, right? So it's exciting. And then you kind of look at his body type along with Deshaun McCullough. It just adds so much to that linebacker room and maybe what they can do. I'm still interested to see what they ultimately do with the rover position, if one of those guys might be asked to move back there, because at linebacker now, the depth is just pretty darn good with Javin Wright, Vincent Shavers. Now we know that they've added, these are your kind of your stand-up linebackers, not necessarily the jack linebacker, but that along with Marquise Watson Trent, you've got a pretty good group right there. And then obviously got some of the younger guys, Dylan Rogers, et cetera, to try to do that. Wilson McGahee obviously more kind of fits in the jack position, but the linebacker unit took quite a hit early in the transfer portal. And now it feels like it, and so at that time you're worried. Now it feels like a strength of the defense, probably the strength if you look at the defensive line in the secondary.
Yeah, for real. I think the topic, and I think we should discuss it, is what's the criteria for this rover position? You look at Giff. What was he all asked to do the past 2 years he played that position? Well, I mean, let's first look at his skill set. Well, I think, Giff laterally, he moved well. I think he had some good start and stop to him. I don't think it was at the caliber of a true safety. If you go look at, Bew for, I would probably say he's probably around there. But if you go look at like Malcolm Harzog, I think he moves a little bit better than Giff. Obviously Giff, I would say he probably played around like the 203, 204 range to probably like 208. I would say that's maybe the highest he ever got up to while he really was playing. So I'd say, you can find much bigger guys than that, right? But I think there's some immeasurables with that rover position. I think the one who coined it probably the best in just overall traits was probably Budda Baker with his time at Washington. Just like that. I think it's that heat-seeking missile. When I think of rover, you go back to, Javin Wright's dad, Toby Wright, back in, the 90s, just a heat-seeking missile. I think that, if he would have if Toby Wright would have played at rover, we would have different conversations just about the 3-3-5 in general. I think he would have coined that, and whatever. That's a whole nother conversation. But I think the rover position is like, for me, it's a guy that can run sideline to sideline. So that needs to be, do you have a motor? I think motor is number one. Do you have a motor? Like, do you not, like, this guy never gets tired on the field. Like, he just has a different type of energy. And is that, those two guys? I don't know. I don't know if there's the rover. We have the rover yet, to be honest with you. I think Deshaun McCullough, he could play a little bit of jack, because we have to understand sometimes with that jack position, you do get some things where you are stand up, or sometimes not necessarily you get in a 6, but you're like in this kind of stand up 9-ish. So you are going to encounter a lot of tackles, maybe trying to reach block you and set, you have to set the edge and long arm guys and do all that good stuff. Now, does Deshaun McCullough have the body type to do that? For 3-4 downs in a game, in a series, right? Obviously, we've seen enough tape to where we know Deshaun McCullough could come off and blitz A B, either A and either B gap, right, on either side, right? So that's not really a discussion. I think all the linebackers can do that. I think the discussion is, okay, how can you protect him in the run game? Because obviously I think he would be a liability in some sense. But I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's different. And then I think of, obviously you got your Mike and your Will, who's the Mike, right? And I think that kind of goes to the more the vocal leader of the defense, like who's going to get guys lined up. And so is that right? Is that, the Georgia Southern transfer, right? Because we've obviously know that he's played a bunch of ball, right? I mean, he's have over 300 tackles, in his career. And then Vincent Shavers, I would say he's more of a Will, just based on just the way he moves. So I think to be honest, I think it might be a toss up between Wright and McCullough, who and really. I think Javin could play some jack. I really do, and I think those two body types, if you can kind of understand a little bit more of your players, just a little bit more, right? And that I think that comes with familiarity in the offseason of like, okay, this guy does this really well. How can we use his skills, effectively, right? And can we create, maybe can we kind of use the individual in a better way? And the way to do that is maybe I create, not create a different position, but maybe change up the technique for his skill set, or maybe tweak a coverage for his skill set. So I think you go off of the player's skill set, and that's going to be a bunch of evaluation during spring. Obviously that starts in the weight room, but spring ball is going to be crucial. I mean, you need all guys healthy, you need all guys developed in the off season, but spring ball is going to be not as, I mean, it's never relaxed, but I think that what's going to happen, in college football is since the portal is so heightened, after bowl games, there's such a demand for spring ball practices to be super intense, because you have to, first of all, form this chemistry. You have to, understand where everyone's at, like talent wise. Can they pick up a playbook? Who plays well together, especially defensively, and like O-line wise? Like, who plays well together on the O-line? Okay, well, that you can only come to that conclusion off of real life reps going full speed. So that in itself, is that's all spring ball. And then you want to get some type of idea before summer workouts. So when you do different walkthroughs and different individual periods after summer workouts, you have a clear picture. Then fall camp, now you kind of have, you could also almost make a prediction on who's going to be your starting guy, but obviously that all starts in spring ball. But I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see where they go with this, because you can go a lot of different ways. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Yeah, that's good. And I'm just kind of trying to look through the new guys, Jameer Khan, Justin Wright, to see if they kind of have that body type. Obviously, the other big story today, Marquise Groves Killebrew, MGK, if you will.
Okay, MGK.
Joining the team out of the transfer portal from Arizona, but he's only listed at 185 pounds.
Yeah, no,
Justin Wright is close to 200, so maybe
close to 200.
Yeah, so maybe he's kind of in there. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm just fascinated, because I think they've got some things they can do, but it's not an obvious answer of who's going to be that at that rover spot.
The only one of the people I think existing, but they're already at Nebraska, is just motor wise Buford. Like, but then it comes to the like kind of question, can his body hold up the whole year playing like that? And we saw that happen. And I wouldn't say his body broke down 2022. It was just, I think it was a freak injury Wisconsin game. It just happened like that, and he's dealt with a couple of things, but that's obviously behind him. I'm more so talking like shoulder injuries, labrum stuff, rotator cuff, all the, collarbone stuff, that all the more of the upper body injuries that come with hitting on the defensive end. But Buf is a guy where I would say, yeah, like I love the motor. He meets that, and he meets, the heart and the intangible stuff you can't really, teach people to do. But also I would say it's you can't bring him in the box much. And that's something we saw Gift do a lot is he came down the box and they were able to, put the wheel on the edge and let him rush and do things like that.
Yeah, interesting. Some other names, obviously, Caleb Binning, who played a little bit there, who was listed as the backup for the Rover was Ramir Stewart, the freshman. So there's some young guys that can get in there, maybe have an argument as well. Donovan Jones played quite a bit in the bowl game, so we'll have to wait and see. A lot of competition, though. A lot of defensive backs on the roster. Let's take a quick break. This is What's Brewing. We'll be back with Chancellor Brewington on 93.7 The Ticket.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Bryant at 402-467-1111 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-467-1111.
Attention all wing fans! Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 89-cent boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.29 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today at 68th and O or in Williamsburg Village.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. The last few years have been wild, but we've been here for you through all the ups and downs, and we'll be here for you when you need us the most, for all your travels and for your day-to-day driving. With winter conditions causing problems all over town, the last thing anyone needs this year is constant car troubles. Let us help you drive in peace and make sure you drive to work and to winter destinations safe. A1 Automotive, 11th and L Street downtown, always honest answers.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Make the 2025 deer season your best yet. Come to the Nebraska Deer and Game Expo Friday, January 17th through Sunday, January 19th. Check out the hunting seminars, browse the hunting and outdoor exhibits, sign up for the 360 blind giveaway, compete in the Big Buck and Monster Shed contest, try the 3D shoot and more. Get tickets at the door. The Nebraska Deer and Game Expo, January 17th through the 19th at the Sand Hills Global Event Center. 84th and Havelock in Lincoln, presented by Whitetail Properties Real Estate.
New year, new you. Barrel's Extreme Body Shaping can help make sure you keep that resolution this time. Our proven system combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition, along with our expert coaching to make sure you're moving forward toward your goals. The next 10-week challenge starts January 11th, but if you enroll now, you can start today and get a head start on those gains for no extra cost. Plus, head to fxblincoln.com and you can save $100. Don't wait. Barrel's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal in a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks. Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
I'm softball player Jordy Ball, and I'm proud of my Nebraska roots, and I'm proud to be back home. And at Midwest Bank, they're proud to be your local community bank. They believe in family first, taking initiative, showing integrity, and rolling up their sleeves to support their local communities. They treat everyone like family, no matter where you're from. Whether you walk into a branch in York, Lincoln, Norfolk, or Pierce, you know you're going to be welcomed with a smile. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC, and we wanted to give a special shout out to all of our great customers, thanking you all for a record-setting year in 2024. Now let's get the new year rolling with some big savings. Right now at Cobble, we have some of the biggest discounts in the area with over $12,000 off list price or 0% APR on select new models. So stop on in the dealership or hit us up online at cobblecars.com to get true low country overhead in action. $12,000 off list or 0% APR right now at Cobble. So please stop on in or visit us at cobblecars.com. You'll be glad you did.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through January 14th is $2 off beef jerky, $2 off ready-to-eat meals, and 20% off all candy. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
This just in, hot off the bench press. Planet Fitness has added new strength equipment. Save $28 or more when you join today, and you can be one of the first to try it out. We're raising the bar with new benches, and our new hack squat will have you actually looking forward to leg day. Plus, we're still repping all of the best-in-class equipment we've always had, with most clubs open 24 hours, so you can work out your way on your time. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends January 10th. See Home Club for details.
Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall. Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Back to What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
We are back on What's Brewing here with Chancellor Brewington. I'm Jake Bakoven in the studio with Chancellor Brewington, the host of your show. What's Brewing for segment number 2, Chancellor?
Sure, I need your help, Bach, with the name of the new transfer coming in from, I believe, U of A. He's been at a few places. I believe he started at A&M, and then I think he went to Louisville, and he went to U of A, and now he's at Nebraska, and we got his name.
And he still has 2 years remaining, by the way.
2 years.
Marquise Groves Killebrew.
So how does that work? He went from Texas A&M. So
that was his true freshman year.
Okay, true freshman. So you redshirt, and then you go to Louisville, right?
Yeah.
Then you go to Louisville.
As a redshirt freshman.
Redshirt freshman. Now we're at
Arizona,
U of A.
Yeah.
Sophomore. And now we're at, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay. This is the new day and age, man. Guys are what's his face? Chief Borders. I mean, he went from Florida to Pittsburgh to Nebraska. Florida, Nebraska, Pittsburgh. And now I believe he's somewhere else. He's about to go somewhere else. I don't know if he's committed yet, but this is the new wave, man. This is the new wave where some may say loyalty doesn't matter. I would just say this is just how it is, and I don't think loyalty has, too much to do with it. But I think the common theme, and we talk about this on here, and I'm open, and I'll say it to whoever, is that if the individual doesn't change, the circumstances won't change. So you don't change the circumstances, you change the individual. So if the individual doesn't change from school to school to school, then what he gets out of each experience won't change. So we got to of course work on the individual and not try to change the circumstances. That's just kind of how it works in reverse, or I would say the right way, in the unique paradox. But you add a corner in, right? This is I'm counting third corner on this list, right?
Yeah, so Idaho defensive back Andrew Marshall. You've got the Georgia defensive back Justin Rhett. You actually got Southern Illinois defensive back Jameer Khan, and now fourth, and Marquise Groves Killebrew.
I would from this. I think one of my takeaways is maybe not feeling too good about Bly Hill. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe it's a thing where they're like, okay, like, I don't know if he's ready to play yet, because I don't know why you would go get 3. I mean, 2, now you're like, okay, like, we'll compete here, or maybe one of them is a project. That's I would get that. Maybe the the Khan guy from what's his name, Jameer Khan?
Yeah,
Jameer Khan from Southern Illinois, I believe.
Yep.
Maybe you can go, maybe he's the guy where it's a long-term project where we're going to develop him for a year and this and this, so we need another guy to come in and play right away. Or maybe it's the other way. How are you familiar with how many years Andrew Marshall has? I believe he's 1 or 2 years.
Yeah, let me double check on him.
I want to say he's 2 years. And if that's so, that would make a little bit more sense. I think Andrew Marshall's a guy you expect him to play right away.
Yeah, I think he's got 2 years left.
2 years. So I think he's a guy you expect to play right away. But I'm watching Jameer Khan's film. I'm be honest, he looks technical. And I think you can't. I said this yesterday, but I'll repeat myself, is that you cannot emphasize technique enough at the cornerback position. Obviously, you don't want to play like a robot, and that's a given. But the technique within the cornerback position is, the most important thing. It's like, I can't really compare it to other ways of life. I'm trying to think of one. It's like not being able to speak as a teacher. Like, it's that important. Like, if you don't have good technique as a corner, you can kind of just guarantee that you're going to get burnt and you're a liability on the field. Now, the other stuff that, we've had corners come in here and do exceptional jobs at, being good run stoppers as well, that's a different question. I mean, Cam Taylor-Britt, I talk about him a lot on here, but his ability to not only be technically sound, also to take risks too, right? He wasn't a robot. He got, sometimes got beat a couple times, right? But he was a risk taker and used that to his advantage, but also was a guy where you could put him into the boundary just meaning the short side of the field, where a lot of teams like to run, especially in college football, where the hashes are so wide. They're not like NFL where there's tight. There's limited space, and you put Cam Taylor-Britt in the boundary, you're like, well, that receiver out there usually is taught to, go up to the safety, block the safety, and leave the corner. Well, if Cam's out there, no, you got to block him, right? And so that's that's a unique case where, not only technique matters, but there's intangibles that I don't know if you can really coach someone to be that physical, right? I think there's just some in the water in Bama, but yeah, like, and I think maybe Jameer Khan is, lighter guy. I don't believe he's that big, if I'm correct. And even with Andrew Marshall, I don't know if he's, physical specimen like that. But definitely if you're playing this 3-5, I mean, you already got Zaire Wright, seems to be, and now the question is Zaire Wright slotted starter? I wouldn't say so. Would you say so?
Well, I would say so, just because the opposite side is where you have a lot of questions. I think Zaire Wright played well enough that he's probably earned that. But then on the opposite side, remember they moved Hartzog back over there to play in the bowl game in the last couple games of the season.
Well, I guess that's what I'm saying though, is like, can you say if Tommy Hill was slotted starter coming into this year, if that's the standard, is Zaire Wright up to that standard? Probably no. I would say no to that. I wouldn't say he's done that much, right? And this is no knock on him. I'm thinking from purely a depth standpoint, to where, like, okay, who's your number one corner? If we were to roll out, the Martians put the laser beam to Earth, right? And we got to roll out a Nebraska corner to play their best game, right? And, against, the best receiver in the Big Ten, who are we rolling out there?
I think you're right. To me, he's probably earned that. I don't know where else you would go. I think, again, Hartzog was able to start there, and I think that's solid. But I mean, I think Wright looked better than Hartzog did at corner this year.
And you could you could make a strong argument. I don't know. There's something. I guess the football side of me says otherwise, where I say, if Malcolm wasn't playing this game the past 3 years, where it's like he's so versatile that you almost use it against him, because he starts off the year, gets a pick against UTEP, I believe it was, at nickel, right? And then later in the year, one of the most important games, USC, you put him on the outside, and he has a wild experience, right? You have to guard a 6'7", receiver in Deuce Robinson, right? And you're like, my gosh, and then he's getting all this, and this. Played tight coverage on him, by the way. Some balls, you just can't get to when you're 5'10", right? And then, Sayer Wright on the other side doesn't necessarily have to deal with that problem and has a breakout game, breakout performance. And then you judge the two and you're like, well, Sayer Wright, is a better corner, right? Or did he play better, right? I think those are two different, statements. Is Sayer Wright better, or did he play better this year? And I think he played better. I don't know if you go top to bottom that he's better than Malcolm Hartzog. I think Malcolm Hartzog is better than him. Just pure standpoint of the cornerback position, all it encompasses, I would say it's the, ability to cover man-to-man, play zone, instincts, trigger, and also tackle as well, and make up speed too. So, and it's tough, because I think if you were to throw Sayer Wright out there consistently over and over and over, I think eventually you would kind of see teams use his size against him, right? And I think that's probably the downfall, if any. But anyways, I mean, we've seen cornerbacks time after time, combat that with effort, combat that with, technique and stuff like that. So this is I'm just trying to think about it in a different sense, in a different light, because, I'm thinking about it the way a coach would think about it. To be honest, these are probably the conversations a coach would have, is like, okay, where did they play? Did he play better? Because this is what happens sometimes as a coach. I've, been around coaches where they're like, yeah, he played better, but this guy is a better player.
Yeah.
We put him in bad situations this year. If we would have put him in these situations, it would have been different, right? And so then you kind of say, like, well, you could do that for everyone. Well, I think there has to be some situations that are different than the other. But I say all this to say, you get 3 cornerbacks, you go and get 3 cornerbacks. I think there has to be something to where I would say each backup, whoever backs up Malcolm and whoever backs up, who's the other guy? Sayer Wright. Whoever backs those guys up, probably not too confident in them, in their play, or maybe they're just not ready yet.
Yeah. It's interesting to see what they do there, because even with Hartzog, I think you feel, he's probably not going to be big enough, as we talked about the rover position earlier, to fit in there. Probably not, the tackler that you want there either. But he is like, if you ran 3 wide receivers on the field, you would want him as the nickel cornerback.
Right.
So it's just, versatility, like you said, might have hurt him and Buford this past year, as they kind of flip-flop between safety and corner.
Yeah, and like you said, it might have hurt him, and now is the time where you want to. I think the easiest thing as a player is when you have a clear defined role, where it's not like a toss-up between, what are we going to do? I don't really know what to expect. I'm so versatile that they're throwing me everywhere, and now it messes with my production, right? That's what you don't want to happen. I think we saw that a little bit with Malcolm, and I think we saw that with Buford a little bit too, where you're throwing all these different places, right? But it's a credit to them that they're able to, first of all, cerebral, like understand the game of football enough, and then body movement wise to be able to play all these positions.
Absolutely. That's what's brewing with the Nebraska defensive backfield. We still got one more segment coming up next year on What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington. We'll be back after this.
Ever stare at the Hog Wild menu and feel like you just can't make up your mind because it all looks so good? Well, when I want a little bit of everything, I get a little bit of everything on Hog Wild's Smokestack Sandwich. On a butter-toasted bun, we pile on our hickory smoked beef brisket and juicy hot links. The hard part is choosing between fresh curly fries, classic baked beans, or coleslaw on the side. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through January 14th is $2 off beef jerky, $2 off ready-to-eat meals, and 20% off all candy. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town. Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, realignment, or even new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call at 402-590-5800.
Make the 2025 deer season your best yet. Come to the Nebraska Deer and Game Expo Friday, January 17th through Sunday, January 19th. Check out the hunting seminars, browse the hunting and outdoor exhibits, sign up for the 360 blind giveaway, compete in the Big Buck and Monster Shed contest, try the 3D shoot and more. Get tickets at the door. The Nebraska Deer and Game Expo, January 17th through the 19th at the Sand Hills Global Event Center. 84th and Havelock in Lincoln. Presented by Whitetail Properties Real Estate.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Davis Plumbing has been in business for over 15 years and is currently searching for journeyman plumbers to join their team. Experience is preferred, but not required for all applicants. When you join the team at Davis Plumbing, you'll receive full benefits package with paid time off. Join a small local business doing big things in Lincoln and surrounding areas. Apply today by calling 402-525-6922 or find them on social media. Davis Plumbing, locally owned and operated for over 15 years.
Having diabetes doesn't have to ruin your new year. Join a Nebraska-supported program like Living Well with Diabetes. You'll learn how to manage your symptoms, feel more confident, and reduce stress about your diagnosis. Search Nebraska Living Well with Diabetes and click on the DHHS Healthy Living Programs page to learn more. Paid for by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
New year, new you? Barrel's Extreme Body Shaping can help make sure you keep that resolution this time. Our proven system combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition, along with our expert coaching to make sure you're moving forward toward your goals. The next 10-week challenge starts January 11th. But if you enroll now, you can start today and get a head start on those gains for no extra cost. Plus, head to fxblincoln.com and you can save $100. Don't wait. Barrel's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
Join us Friday, January 10th as the Lincoln Stars host USA Hockey National Team Development Program for Star Wars Night at the Ice Box. It's the first of 2 games this weekend, January 10th and 11th, as the Stars take on the U7 teams in a pair of games at the Ice Box. Don't forget to join us on Saturday as well, as it's Buddy Pass Night in the capital city. Tickets for both games are available for purchase now, and you can head over to LincolnStars.com.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. The last few years have been wild, but we've been here for you through all the ups and downs, and we'll be here for you when you need us the most, for all your travels and for your day-to-day driving. With winter conditions causing problems all over town, the last thing anyone needs this year is constant car troubles. Let us help you drive in peace and make sure you drive to work and to winter destinations safe. A1 Automotive, 11th and L Street downtown, always honest answers.
Early break.
I need to know what the definition of a chandelier
Chandelier?
is. Yeah.
It's the same too?
I think so. When I think chandelier, I think like an old-timey big light that's fancy with the bedazzled, basically. It's got fancy looking.
Yeah, of course.
It's not jewelry, but it's got fancy elements to it.
I know what you mean.
That's a regular nice light
hanging from the ceiling.
Right.
Early break from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket. The Adam Carricker Show.
That is what the 12-team playoff does. It makes the end of the regular season more exciting until we realize, hey, the teams that are 10 through 12 are just going to get killed. So getting in doesn't really matter. All that doesn't matter is Oregon, Ohio State regular season. Matchup doesn't matter. Ohio State, Michigan, that rivalry's now been devalued. And to me, that's what I see.
Live every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday from 12 to 1 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Back to What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
We are back with one final segment here on What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington. Chancellor, I did want to get your thoughts real quick before we head into what you have planned for this third segment. Is Carson Beck has hit the transfer portal, the former Georgia quarterback who has some injuries to get over here. Of course, was taken out for Georgia and had to go with Gunnar Stockton in the playoff games. Surprised that he would choose transfer portal over the NFL draft here? Or does this make some sense to you?
I'm not. I really am not. I think it's the same I think he's in a similar situation to Quinn Ewers, to where, you're going into this year, you're like, yeah, this is my money year. I'm going to go to the draft after this year. You get your grade, and it's probably, high to mid, whatever it is. And, based on the performance, it's probably a consensus and, well agreed that like you just don't have enough tape or enough numbers I would say consistency. It's not so much tape. You have the tape. It's just the consistency in numbers. I don't know where he's going to go. I don't know how efficient he's going to be. I don't know. I really don't know who wants him, right? Who wants him after this year? There's going to be people who want him, of course, because there's, it's a scarcity in college football quarterbacks that have played and especially in big games. But if Georgia didn't have the defense, didn't have, I would say the top 3 skill players in the nation, right? I would say Bama probably has some of the best. I would say Ohio State and Georgia have some of the best skill players in the nation, right? If you didn't have those skill players and it was strictly on Carson Beck's ability to make plays, make the tight throws, you put him at Cam Ward's situation in Miami. Good example. You got Isaiah Restrepo and, a couple other players, but nothing too crazy. You definitely don't have, the athletes at Georgia. What type of year would you have? Right. And I think we would all agree that if Cam Ward went to, Georgia, that would be, they would be in the national championship game. And then that's not the argument between Cam Ward and Carson Beck. I think it's just the reality that, first of all, Georgia should be in the championship game. They should be playing who's Northern Penn State. They should be playing Penn State. But because the lack of quarterback play, of course, Carson Beck didn't play. But just the lack of quarterback efficiency in the whole Georgia offense, I mean, is the reason why they didn't do what they were supposed to do this year. And I think it's the conversation we're having too, Bach, is like, what does this mean for Quinn Ewers too? Like, season-wise, I would say he had a better season than Carson Beck, right? I would definitely say that. But nothing jumps off the charts. Nothing is like, wow. So I think, if you go play good against Ohio State, and I'm talking good, I'm talking go play for 300, throw for 300 yards, a couple touchdowns, and you go play good in the national championship game, obviously implying that you beat Ohio State in that game. I think then, maybe the conversation is, he goes to the draft too, but there's already been rumors, there's already been talks that he's going to stay in college and, hit the portal maybe, and, Arch Manning's going to take over the show at Texas. I understand that. I understand even if he plays good, that he would want to come back, because you don't want to, or maybe you do. I don't know his philosophy. I don't know his understanding, what he's going to do, but I could see the same situation that Carson Beck is going on or going through for Quinn Ewers to do that same thing.
Yeah, and it's interesting just reading through the initial posts. It looks like Miami might be a landing spot for Carson Beck. I've seen Ohio State thrown out there, so it'll be interesting. And then some questions naturally for college football. Is this good for college football to have one of the leading quarterbacks on one of the best teams jumping ship? But we already saw. Dylan Gabriel did that, and is what it is. I know Oklahoma's a little different than Georgia. I get it.
Yeah, it worked out good.
Yeah.
We saw. I'm trying to think of who else. You could. I wouldn't say a top quarterback. Definitely not a top quarterback. But Clemson's quarterback DJ.
Uiagalelei.
Yeah, when he went to where was his first stop?
It's hard to follow now. It was Clemson.
It was Clemson,
and then Oregon State.
Then Oregon State, and then it was Florida State.
Yeah.
So that was big news when he left Clemson. That was big news. He was a big prospect. We've seen it. We've seen quarterbacks jump. And like we said, that's the market there. You're making a rookie salary. Obviously, it's different if you're top, 32 pick, but rookie salary, if you're a mid, I would say if he were to, go in the draft, he'd probably be a 5th or 6th round guy, or maybe undrafted. If in a crazy world, undrafted. Rookie salary, you're making what? 700, 600, 700, 800. If you're on active practice squad, making around 3, right? So, him in the portal, he's going to be making $2-3 million. So logistically, who wouldn't take that, right? That's a pretty smart grab, pretty smart decision right there. So, I'm all for the players making money. I'm not trying to insinuate anything for real. What I am trying to say is that he can make a difference on the team. He's gonna have to go to the right team, and I don't think it's gonna be a thing where you can just say I have Carson Beck on my team. You're gonna have to surround him with good talent like he was with Georgia.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely can see that. We'll see. And that torn UCL, no matter one way or the other, how he responds to surgery, can he be the Carson Beck of old, will be a big question there. But just interested in what that means for Georgia, right? Gunnar Stockton looked okay. I think Jaden Rashada, the transfer who was originally at Florida, then went to Arizona State, was there. Ricky just said he's transferring. So Georgia, usually not the one lost, left over without a quarterback, but maybe they completely believe in Gunnar Stockton.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, man. The college football landscape has completely changed.
Absolutely. Not a day goes by without something interesting in college football happening. That'll continue throughout the day and into tomorrow, but that'll wrap it up for What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington on the block coming next year on 93.7 The Ticket.
Salt Mine City is now open at 8th and R in the Haymarket. Come check out Lincoln's newest brewery with 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager, Brick Street Amber Wheat, and so many more. There's daily drink specials like $1 off Moscow Mules on Tuesdays, $6 IPAs on Fridays, and $6 Bloody Marys on Saturdays. Stop by Tuesday through Thursday from 4 to 9 p.m., Fridays 4 to 11 p.m., Saturdays 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sundays from noon to 8 p.m. It's Salt Mine City, Lincoln's newest brewery at 8th and R.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
League One Volleyball is bringing the action to Omaha with Omaha's first serve on January 24th at 7 p.m. Central Time at the Liberty First Credit Union Arena. Witness history in the making as Love Omaha Volleyball takes on Love Madison in the team's inaugural home match. Be there to watch Olympic teammates Jordan Larson and Lauren Carlini go head-to-head in a battle of the world's best. Visit LOVBOMA